I did this weird little experiment where I thought, well, I started going down this road, which is I thought, my conversation with Gavin Newsom's insane to me, but I realize people hear my voice and they hear his voice and they don't respond, or they might.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Well, it's me arguing with Gavin Newsom, but if they would just read the text,
okay,
like really just actually transcribe what he said, he sounds like an insane person.
Yes. Right.
So I grabbed this 3-minute clip and I got with Joe and I said, let's get rid of my voice and get rid of his voice. And by the way, make me a woman who's interviewing him and just make him a dude. And let's hear what that would sound like.
That's awesome.
But then he ran across Burt Reynolds' voice. Joey did when he was... I'm looking at this picture. He's got the state of Florida embroidered on his hat, doesn't he? Is that what that is?
Yeah, he's a big Florida guy. Went to FSU.
I know he's a big Florida guy, but in this movie, he's in Georgia and Smoking the Bandit. But anyway.
Yeah, it's interesting. Never noticed that.
I never noticed he had a Florida hat. Anyway, I know he's a big Florida guy. He was in a movie called Gator, for Christ's sake. So I said, why don't we just have Burt Reynolds' AI voice be Gavin Newsom?
Yeah.
And my voice will be like, I said, like an NPR type of chick.
Yeah.
Like a nice,
I'm dying to hear this.
chick. And it's a weird little thought experiment. So this is, now none of the dialogue is altered at all. It's just transcribed. It's exact words. And I am the NPR chick, and he's Burt Reynolds. Here we go.
We got to do this with everything. We do this with everything.
Well, it might work, it might not work, but I found it interesting. All right, let's listen.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families have no access to a checking account or an ATM, things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
Well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't.
Why do Armenians have them?
But where they end up is a check cashing place.
But I want to know, why those groups? Why do those two groups not have access?
Just happens to be that we can talk about...
Are they flawed?
No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically flawed?
Hardly. Absolutely not.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have problems. A lot of whites have these problems.
So it's not just black and Hispanic?
No, but it...
Well, why did you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be just the magnitude.
That's the way God planned it?
Not at all.
Well, what happened to them?
There are a lot of issues, and communities are struggling.
Why are they struggling?
A lot of different reasons.
Hispanics have been here, blacks have been here longer than we have been here.
Well, we can surmise...
What about Asians? They were put in internment camps.
Yeah. In fact, it all initiated out of San Francisco. The Chinese Exclusion Act came out of progressive San Francisco.
So are they at the check cashing places?
A lot of Asians certainly do.
Oh, so why don't you include them?
Because then the only reason why is the magnitude of the problem.
But there's no way to figure out how that happened.
We could talk about, you know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate.
Sure. Why would you? Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No, that's not the case. Because I want to deal with reality.
You want to deal with reality? I can tell you what reality is.
People are struggling. People are suffering. I want to deal with the problems in a pragmatic way.
Why are they struggling and why are they suffering?
We can hold hands and surmise about all these other reasons.
I don't want to do that. I want to know why they're struggling. Why are they struggling?
A lot of folks are struggling because they can't find jobs.
Why blacks and Hispanics?
Across the board, all socioeconomics.
So everybody is struggling?
Everybody is struggling.
So Asians are suffering just as much as blacks?
The face of welfare is not an African-American family.
Oh, so it's Asian, Jewish, it's all of them?
Caucasian.
Okay, we're all struggling.
A lot of folks are struggling.
Okay.
It's the best thing ever.
It highlights the fact he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking. He's not saying anything.
But here's the really interesting part. Apart of the fact
I'm glad you appreciate
it's genius.
My genius.
It's genius.
My genius.
Yes, you're a genius.
My genius. The fact that Burt Reynolds randomly popped up when we were trying to figure this out.
How would you like me to express that completely to you?
Well, I said I want a celebrity, and the only celebrity that came up is Burt.
Well, I would argue,
why do you find that genius?
But I tell you the part that really, for some reason, brings it all the way home is the NPR check. That's the part that takes
I said
it all
it can't
the way.
be another dude,
Yeah.
and it can't be me.
Yeah, that's the one that you go, that makes you say, oh, fuck, right? So I want from now on, in fact, I want, from this show, I'd like it to be with an NPR chick from now on because people will respond so differently.
Right.
I want to hear your...
Because you go, that fucking male buffoon doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, and she's just trying to do her job.
I want to have a...
Right? Instead of, shut up, Adam.
Yes, I want to have a conversation with the NPR radio chick about chick think and see what that sounds like. You know what I mean? Like, see if the term chick think out of her mouth rings different. Mm-hmm. Right? I'm sure it will.
Yeah.
So
see.
Interesting. Andrew, did you have the same reaction I do? Did you?
There were the folks in the room are used to my genius, so they're kind of impervious to it, or it's called a Tuesday for them.
It's like the scene in A Time to Kill when Matthew McConaughey is delivering that impassioned speech at
Drew
the end
doesn't
of
know
it.
what you're talking about.
I don't.
Oh, you don't?
No, he doesn't watch any movies.
Oh, no.
But the point is my conversation with Newsom, I realized was insane. But I realized that because of my voice and his voice and partisan politics and side taking, my mom would have listened to that. And when you didn't give him a chance to talk, she would have taken Newsom's side and said, I badgered him or let him talk, or I understood what he was saying, or well, he's trying to help or whatever. I realized that I had to remove myself.
Yep.
I realized I had to remove him.
Maybe it's a strategy for life here.
Yes, I realized I had to replace with an NPR woman.
Yes.
Now listen, who would have thought of changing genders? This guy.
Full respect.
Because I said I need an NPR woman, and by the way, who's more masculine than Burt Reynolds?
Yeah.
So I need a very masculine sounding Newsom and a NPR chick, who's me. And now you realize how insane Burt Reynolds sounds. But that's not Burt Reynolds, it's Gavin Newsom. Yep. And that's how nuts. Hey, I don't know, did he track? Was there anything that changed his ideas?
He actually sounded like a robot. You know what I mean? In terms of his maneuvering. Like he made no sense. It just sounded like like the way a robot would maneuver, not a person.
One more, just the first 40 seconds, just because I can't get enough of it either.
We got to put this out somehow so people understand what it is.
Half of African Americans in the state of California.
And putting Bert's picture is funny. And then it was Andrew's idea to go tight on Bert when he got into stuff.
Half of African Americans in the state of California. Roughly half of Latino families have no access to a checking account or an ATM, things we take for granted. They don't have a checking account.
What's wrong with them?
Well, because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have them?
A lot of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't.
Why do Armenians have them?
But where they end up is a check cashing place.
But I want to know, why those groups? Why do those two groups not have access?
Just happens to be that we can talk about...
Are they flawed?
No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetically flawed?
Hardly. Absolutely not.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have problems. A lot of whites have these problems.
So it's not just black and Hispanic?
No, but it...
Well, why did you bring up black and Hispanic?
Because the magnitude is ominous.
But why so many of them?
It just happens to be. Just the magnitude.
That's the way God...
All right, it just happens to be.
Happens to be.
Well, that's a problem solver, isn't he?
Wow.
It just happens to be. That guy's going to solve that problem.
I want to see...
It just is, Drew.
I want to see a whole series of these.
I got more.
I want more. We should have an episode every week, every show on this show, at least every week.
First off,
what?
you understand these are hardworking men and women in that other room over there.
I know,
Drew.
it's a lot to ask, I know.
And, but I do want that one with him and Kara Swisher brought up as well that I've made people play a few times. Well, first off, I talked to him for an hour, so we can easily do more of me. Yeah. But there is the one where he's talking about people leaving the state.
Oh yeah, the Salt Lake City thing.
Yeah, it's in the computer somewhere. Yeah. It's 3 minutes long. He's talking to Kara Swisher, and that could easily be swapped out for NPR woman, who basically Kara Swisher anyway, and Burt Reynolds. I'm now in love with the idea that it's always Burt Reynolds.
That's the conceit.
Well, because my mom would hear that.
Yeah.
And my mom didn't know anything. She'd hear that, and
Yeah.
she'd go, Burt Reynolds is such a blowhard. He's such an asshole.
Yeah, she hated him.
And that NPR girl, I don't know where she went to college.
Yeah.
Probably a woman's college,
Yeah.
but she's bright. And she took it to him.
Yeah.
She stuck it to him.
Yeah.
And that's good for her. Because Burt Reynolds, that guy, like, that's my mom would do.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
my
yeah.
mom heard me and Gavin Newsom,
Yeah.
she would take Gavin Newsom's
Of course.
side.
Of
right?
course.
All right.
This is the insanity of the present moment. This is it.